Welcome to another edition of What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. On this week's program, uncertain economic times for the auto sector, which is huge in Simcoe County and reaches beyond the walls of the Honda plant at Alliston. What to do? A group of Simcoe County mayors has been talking strategies. One of them talks with us this week. Many charitable organizations are feeling the pinch as we continue to recover from the pandemic and the ensuing economic downturn. Funding can be hard to come by, but there are groups that want to help, like Girls That Give. We learn about them and how you can get involved. And the Canadian Musicians Cooperative, a local Barrie music organization, is taking its show and a few homegrown acts on the road again this summer on its Barns to Beaches tour. We get the conversation started after this. Simcoe County's mayors have come together to address immediate and long-term challenges facing the auto sector in the region in the face of American tariffs and other economic uncertainties. New Tecumseth Mayor Richard Norcross brought them together. He took some time to explain to Barrie 360's Ian McLennan what they're hoping to achieve.
Mayor, how did this Auto Mayors Association of Simcoe County come to being? What was the trigger?
The tariffs. We had a big and major expansion coming from Honda, and I might add, Honda is an amazing corporate citizen to the town of New Tecumseth. It's been placed on hold for 2 years. So about 2 months ago, I reached out to all our business leaders of the large manufacturing industries, and we had a roundtable discussion and asked them what are their concerns. And out of that, a lot of it was the auto tariffs. So I'm a member of the Ontario Auto Manufacturers Association. I met with Honda, which I do quite frequently, and said, how can the town of New Tecumseth and Simcoe County help? I said, I'd like to do a mayor's association in Simcoe County, directly related to helping Honda and the subsidiary companies and all the other manufacturers that supply the food chain there.
Now, Mayor, people are familiar, obviously, with Honda, but I think sometimes we think the auto industry, we think, Ingersoll, Cami, Woodstock, Windsor, but the auto industry, aside from Honda, is a big player here in Simcoe County?
Oh, absolutely. Even here in New Tecumseth with a few businesses that directly supply Honda. We have one in Tottenham, F&P, which is about 1,000 employees. We have another one, we have another industry in Tottenham. We have one in another one in Alliston. So yes, there's a lot of industries involved. There's one over in Bradford, up in Midland, Penetang, Innisfil. It's right across the board in Simcoe County. And quite frankly, we focus on workforce stability, investment and policy advocacy.
Now, you've touched upon Trump's tariffs. So what were some of the top concerns and ways to manage and work with what's happening on the ground right now?
Well, there's no surprise. It has certainly increased the money being placed on vehicles to purchase new. So, what we're trying to do, and we're working with the province and the feds and our manufacturers, is we have to work out some sort of deal with the United States because it affects both countries directly. So how can we do it? How can we lobby? But more importantly, us as a municipality, what can we do to help Honda and the other manufacturers? What role can we play? So that was the gist of, the initial conversation is, we need to all sit down together. We got to collectively and collaboratively work together, the municipalities with the province. And the province has been fantastic. They really have. And so we wanted to start those discussions.
Honda has put their project on hold for 2 years. Have you talked to other industry leaders within your municipality or have heard from other mayors where it's a similar story? We were going to invest, but right now we're not sure what to do or we're not going to?
Everything you just said, and it's out there. The economic uncertainty is certainly right across the board. And one of the main concerns that came out too is, everyone seems to have a stockpile of supplies for 2 to 3 months, and then they'll run out. So it's going to raise the prices to produce all the vehicles and the parts that go with them. And this industry is not just an economic engine. It's a source of skilled employment, innovation, and long-term prosperity for our communities. We are what they call a growth node, so we're going to double in population. And we certainly want to have jobs here, generational jobs that pay good. And so that people that have been raised in the community, have moved to the community, were born in the community, have an opportunity to get a good job in the community and stay in their community.
With the evolution of Trump's tariffs, of course, now we're seeing Ontario sign deals with other provinces regarding, breaking down provincial trade barriers. That has, those things have been discussed for many years, and now you've created this association locally in Simcoe County. Hands seem to have been forced, but is that maybe a good thing that, we're looking and maybe in different directions, or, this association may not just be a Trump sort of thing, but may last beyond Donald Trump?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It'll last beyond Trump's. And there's other factors, too. The EV market's not taken off the way people thought it would. The sales aren't as high as what people thought. There are other countries now getting into that market, which is creating competition. So, no, I could see this association with Simcoe County as we continue to grow. We need to be competitive here. We need to attract, maintain manufacturing here so that we have prosperity for our community.
Have you heard from other mayors, maybe from the separated cities, such as Barrie and Orillia, interested in becoming a part of this?
Well, we certainly will extend the invitation, absolutely. The more mayors we have involved, the more leaders in the industry we have involved, the more manufacturers we have involved in the province and the feds, will certainly make a difference. And we also want to show our manufacturers we care. We appreciate what you do for our community, and we're going to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. And we're going to work together to figure something out and make sure you remain profitable.
Is there a concern, not just you as mayor, but people you've talked to in New Tecumseth, whether it's Tottenham or Alliston, Beaton, the uncertainty in terms of people not purchasing, or people afraid to take that step because there is so much unknown?
Absolutely, absolutely. I hear it from all walks of life, and everyone is very concerned because it's uncertainty. One thing with Honda, though, they've committed to keeping the plant here in Alliston rolling and running. They've committed to the community in Simcoe County in the province, which is fantastic. As I said earlier, they're such a great corporate citizen. But yeah, no, there is uncertainty out there. People's mortgages are getting renewed at a lot higher interest rate when they first took them out. And people are concerned about their jobs. People are not spending the way they used to spend or put off large purchases. And the trickle-down effect, it's going to take its toll.
You said standing shoulder to shoulder. You were quoted as saying that we, the other mayors too, are confident in the future of auto manufacturing in Simcoe County. So the wheels aren't spinning?
No, they're not. No, we are. All the mayors we're very confident. And I think our confidence comes from the fact that we're all dedicated to our manufacturing industry in Simcoe County and our respective municipalities. And we've all made it perfectly clear when we've met with our large manufacturers, individually, of course, but saying, what can we do to help? What can we bring to the table? And we've had some good ideas, some good suggestions, and so we're going to put them together. And I'm pretty comfortable and confident that we'll do a really good job on this.
This is what Barrie's talking about from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely, joined by a co-worker here, Farah Miltimore, who has a really fancy title now.
Do I?
Well, yeah,
it is, actually.
Compared to what it used to be when I got into this business.
That's true. I'm an integrated marketing manager.
What does that mean?
That means I help local businesses with their marketing plans so that they can thrive.
All right, but that's not why you're here.
No, sir.
Because you're also involved in this other group called Girls That Give.
Yes.
All right, because there's another one, Guys That Give.
There is a Guys That Give,
But we're not talking about them because we've talked about them before.
Exactly.
Girls That Give. So give us the lowdown of what this organization is for those who are uninitiated.
Absolutely. So Girls That Give is a community giving group where we meet once a quarter. The goal is to have 100 women in the group, and we have 3 charities come to each meeting. And then as a group, we collectively decide who we are giving our donation to. So right now we are at about 70 members, hoping to get to that 100 so that those local charities get a lump sum of a $10,000 donation.
What's the criteria for somebody who is looking for a donation?
So they are local to Simcoe County. And then the way that it works is they just need to be local to Simcoe County. And then the way it works is that if you are present at one of the meetings as a member, you are then selected for the next meeting. So we have 3 individuals that then pick a charity to bring to the following quarter's meeting. And then the charity or the non-for-profit organization has 5 minutes to present what they would use that money for. And then as a group, we vote. Right now, we're giving away anywhere between $6,000 and $7,000 per quarter, with the goal of getting to that $10,000 per meeting. So in a year, as a group, the goal is to give $40,000 in total.
And I bet you have no trouble finding people to give money to.
No, not at all. The need for help in this community is phenomenal. And as a group, there's so much. The backbone of the giving groups is because we get asked a lot either for our time or money. And sometimes we don't know where that money is going and what it's doing for those organizations. So having such a local connection and having people come in and explain to us exactly where that money is going and how it's benefiting our community really makes a huge impact. And then it also helps. There's a ripple effect to it where, so let's say one of the 3 organizations that's not selected still has a need for something. Our members then go out and either donate more money or their time if, the message resonated with them as well. So there's still good being given to all, even if that organization doesn't win for that meeting.
It's a feel-good thing all around.
It is, absolutely.
So you mentioned you're looking for some more members.
We are.
So talk about the commitment. There's some media commitment. There's a financial commitment. Anything else?
So really the only commitment is a financial commitment. It's $100 every quarter. So it's $400 for the year. You do not have to come to the meetings, even though we would love to see you there. But the meetings are structured in a way that is quick and efficient because we know people's time is precious as well. So the meetings usually run about an hour. Everyone is more than welcome to stay and mix and mingle, but there's no prerequisites. There's no requirements as to showing up to the meetings. You just have to be willing to donate every quarter.
And I'm guessing you have a wide range of individuals who are already members.
We absolutely do. And it's been a beautiful community. So this will be upcoming. We just had our last meeting in May, and then the next one will most likely be in September. We're just over a year in, and people keep asking me, well, why aren't you pushing harder to get to that 100 members? I'm doing my absolute best. We have a social media presence, but at the end of the day, I want the group to grow in an organic fashion, and those that are meant to be a part of the group are in the group. So we are ecstatic with who we have so far, and it's been lovely to see the connections that are being built within the group as well.
Is there an initiation kind of thing, or do people who want to be a part of it have to go through a process?
No, absolutely not. It's as simple as going over to the website, which is girlsthatgive.ca, and then filling out the member inquiry form, and then they get a response from me, and if they're in, they're in.
All right. So either the website, can
Yes.
people reach out to you personally for more information?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can follow us on Instagram at Girls That Give Barrie, or they can find me. Really, you just Google my name and I'll show up somewhere. So
Oh, you're that well known.
yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, but absolutely more than welcome to find me here at Central Ontario Broadcasting or through my social channels as well.
Good for you for doing this.
Thank you, Dan.
Thankful for the work that you are doing to help those that are in need.
It's my absolute pleasure.
All right. You know how to get a hold of her. Do it.
Thank you, sir.
The Barrie-based Canadian Musicians Cooperative is back again this summer with what it calls a Barns to Beaches tour. Our good friend Anna Goldsmith from Innisfil tagging along on this one. She lays out the tour and what's been happening with her personally for Barrie 360's Julius Hearn.
All right, Anna, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. The Canadian Musicians Cooperative. We saw you last week at the launch for the Barns to Beaches tour.
Yeah.
Just kind of give me an idea. What does the co-op mean to you, and how did you get in with the co-op?
Well, thank you for having me. For me, the co-op is an experience where I'm able to meet with other artists and make connections and understand the music industry. That is the main thing that the co-op focuses on, is how to work your butt off to make it in the music industry, and it's really supportive community, and I'm able to just perform with other artists that are really awesome, and it's a fun time.
How long have you been with the co-op?
I was with the co-op last summer in their pre-professional program, and this summer I'm back again for the Barnes to Beaches tour, and I'm super excited to be performing.
What have you learned in the co-op so far that you hadn't learned before in your singing career, previous to last year?
The co-op has taught me to be bold, so make the bold choice. Be confident no matter what. Be confident in your mistakes too. Just gotta be confident the whole time to be successful. And to connect with other singers on a more like harmonic level, because that's literally what we were working on today is harmonies. And that's something that I personally struggle with, but it really is kind of like a spiritual connection with vocalists. So I've learned that a lot.
You're telling me earlier you had rehearsals today actually for the co-op. What have the rehearsals been like for this upcoming tour?
Well, the rehearsals have been awesome. I have been able to meet everybody, obviously, so it was great. And the rehearsals have been busy, but they have been fun, and it's all valuable stuff. Like, I'm learning something new every day. I feel like I'm learning more than I would being in high school. So I'm learning stuff that's really useful every day, and I am hanging out with cool people. That's what rehearsals are.
I know this tour is kind of set on 100% Canadian content this summer. So what kind of stuff can we expect on the tour this year in terms of set lists and various locations as well? Because I know it's going to be a really big tour. Yeah.
Well, this tour is very amazing. We're touring around Southern Ontario, and you can expect to see some awesome, wildly talented artists performing their heart out on the stage for you and with you, rocking out all the time.
We had a conversation last week, and you were telling me that the Barrie arts and culture scene, and music specifically, is kind of underrated. So in your opinion, what has the Barrie music scene meant to you, and why might it be so underrated?
There is so much music locally in Barrie, and it is wild, because I feel like when people think about like big music scenes, they always think of Toronto, but Barrie actually has so much music happening all the time. And for me, obviously, as an aspiring like artist and musician, it has allowed me to feel that I have the opportunity to perform and showcase my art to the local community, and then taking that audience and bringing them along with me on the rest of my journey.
Let's talk about your journey for sure. Like, how did you get into music? I know it started really young for you.
Yes. Well, I'm 17 now, and I started music when I was like 9 years old, and it was really fate. I actually had my last singing recital, because I'm going to university next year, so I had my last recital with my singing teacher that I've had the whole entire time last week. So it's been pretty emotional. I was crying so much while I was singing, but so I started singing when I was 9 years old, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with performing and never stopped. I was in local theater as well, and just performing is all I want to do. That's all I do all the time.
Talking about theater, I know you've done a bit of acting in your career as well already. What have you kind of learned between the two that kind of brings it all together?
For me, I've done a couple different like types of acting. Like there's TV and film, and then there's theater and everything like that. Acting really taught me how to be genuine and vulnerable all the time, and I think that has helped me a lot in my music career as an artist as well, because I'm able to just be 100% myself even when hundreds of people are watching.
What are some of your biggest musical influences? I know we've talked about this before. Janis Joplin, a big one for you. Kind of explain that, but maybe shout out some other influences you have.
Yeah, so some of my influences are Janis Joplin. She's amazing. I think for me, I just really love her performance style. I watched some YouTube videos of her just performing just for fun, and she really makes the audience feel like they are a part of what she's doing. And I think that's why she is such a powerful artist. Obviously, her like wailing voice is like outstanding and wild, and that's what makes her interesting. But also the way that she performs, she gets the audience a lot of the time to like surround her. She's like in the middle of a circle, just like singing with the people. And I think that's what artistry is all about, is just sharing your message and having connections with people that you might not see the next day. Another inspiration for me is Lady Gaga, just because she's bold, you know? Like, I sing more of Janis Joplin's style of music, but I love Lady Gaga's performances. Like, Paparazzi in the 2007 VMAs, I think it was 2007, it might be 2010, but she is an outstanding performer, and that's what I aspire to be.
I was listening to your last single, Brain Boyfriend, earlier today. It was kind of more of a pop punk style of music.
Yeah, I was trying something new.
You've kind of gone between a few different styles of music, at least in the singles that you've released already. So what have you kind of fit with the most, would you say?
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely shifting towards a more bluesy rock type vibe. I said I love Janis Joplin, and I love like Jimi Hendrix, that kind of like Woodstock group. But yeah, from the 60s and 70s rock, I just love it. And really, I feel like I don't necessarily limit myself to a style of music, because I feel like it's important for artists to express themselves like fully and genuinely and vulnerably. For me, I just do what feels right. And right now, rock is feeling right, and making a statement is feeling right.
What are some of the biggest connections that you've made, whether locally or provincially, in your music career already?
I feel like I make connections everywhere I go, and I like to say that I'm not necessarily making connections. I'm more like making friends, because I feel like the connections that I really value are people that I would just hang out with and like eat lunch with, or like go like shopping or something, you know what I mean? And so I feel like for me, I made connections with this one guy named Rui, and he's in Toronto, and he is like the most amazing guy. I recorded a song that's actually coming out on July 1st. I recorded that with him, and I feel like he has a little chair in my brain and just knows everything I'm saying. And his name is Rui, and he's part of Harmony Hive Records. And he's just a great guy, and that's a connection that I really do value. And all the connections that I make at the co-op are valuable, even social media-wise, because all of us have like varying follower counts. And so we all try to bring each other up, which I think is very valuable in this industry.
I wanted to ask you about your single that's coming out July 1st. What can you tell us about it right now before it even comes out?
Yes. Here's a little sneak peek. So the single that's coming out July 1st is called Wake Up the People, and is really just an anthem that encourages people to think individually and do what is best for them, because I feel like a lot of what goes on in the world is because people are doing what they think other people want them to do. And I feel that it is very important for everyone's personal growth to just do what is right for them.
You performed at some big stages, the Teen Jam earlier this year. You're at Massey Hall. What's it like performing at such an iconic and historic venue?
Insane, because I literally am in the change rooms. Like, we had like dressing rooms there, which was like awesome. And I was literally in the dressing room. I'm like, I bet someone really famous is sitting where I sat once. And it's so cool to just think that like you're in the same place as some of these like talented people. Obviously, like at different times and different levels, but it's still really, really cool to perform. And Canada's Teen Jam was so much fun. It was just so cool to like meet other people and just perform my heart out.
Well, Anna, I'm wishing you good luck. That's going to be fantastic. One more time before we let you go, just kind of describe the tour one more time and your single that's coming out next week.
The Canadian Musicians Cooperative Barnes to Beach Tour. I, Anna Goldsmith, am on it, and I am very, very excited to rock out with some awesome musicians and have an insane show where we connect with your local community. There will be a show in Barrie, woo! And I have a single coming out on July 1st, which is kind of a teaser to an EP, and it is called Wake Up the People, about embracing your individuality.
Anna, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Julius.
The Barnes to Beaches tour begins July 26th in Walkerton, makes a stop in Brighton on August 8th. Dates for Barrie and other locations have yet to be announced. You can keep up at canadianmusicians.coop. And that's our program for this week. Thanks to Ian and Julius for their input, to Matt Latter for his technical expertise, and to you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to What Barrie's Talking About, rate it, review it. You can also keep up with What Barrie's Talking About on Blue Sky and X at Barrie360, on our website, Barrie360.com, and there's our daily Kickstart podcast, available from any streaming service and on our website. I'm Dan Blakely. Hope you'll join us again next week.